Urien is a video game character from the Street Fighter series, a former disciple of the secret society who knows no mercy. He is the younger brother of Gil. Urien's character can be described as tyrannical, unlike the loving nature of his brother Gil, although Gil is far from being a good person. Urien also abandons any noble qualities and leadership elements, considering them worthless. Consequently, he shouts phrases like, crush, destroy, and kill during most of his attacks, highlighting his violent and destructive nature. It also indicates a lack of self-control resulting from emotional instability. In Street Fighter, Helen describes him as cunning and scheming behind his back, and he attempts to kill Nash in a fit of rage after being defeated. Urien often exhibits sadistic tendencies and takes great pride in becoming a true emperor. He rejects the ideologies of his ancestors, which have been preserved through cryogenics, considering them ugly and stupid, and a mass of garbage without the ability to take positive action. Urien does not trust anyone other than himself, remaining constantly vigilant against disobedience and betrayal from both allies and enemies. This may be a result of his despotic behavior and an instinctual fear of someone trying to overthrow him. Urien and Gil were born to parents who had been members of the secret organization for a long time and were said to be candidates for leadership within the organization. Both of their parents held PhD degrees in their respective fields. It's worth noting that their mother was an Olympic athlete and a significant candidate for becoming the leader. Urien became a potential candidate for leadership at the age of 6, alongside his brother Gil. Later on, the brothers were separated from their parents and forced to undergo continuous genetic modifications, training sessions, and monitoring. During this period, Urien learned to manipulate the elements of the earth, merging them together in an aura. He also performed the Aegis Reflector, one of the secret arts of the Society's 66. At the age of 22, the administration chose Gil as the president due to his strength and considerable charisma over Urien. Urien is seen in the secret society's laboratory with Dr. Wu, inspecting the progress of the G project. He observes the creation of the 11 character, requesting to fight him to assess his strength. After defeating 11, Urien realizes that 11 is nothing more than a failure. Dr. Wu apologizes and informs him that they will expedite the program to improve 11's capabilities. Afterward, Urien meets Jill's secretary, Colin, who goes by the name Helen. He wants to know her report, and she reveals information about Shadaloo led by Bison and their plans for world domination. She informs him about their plans to retrieve Nash's body and the need for him to provide the vacant Chamber 11 in his laboratory. Urien is concerned about her actions and notes her obsession with reviving the clay doll. Helen tells him that Nash's desire for revenge against Bison and his fighting skills will serve their purposes perfectly. Urien agrees to provide the vacant Chamber 11. Afterwards, Urien faces C. Viper after she begins interrogating him. In China, after defeating Nikali, Urien pays a prearranged sum to Balrog to deliver data on world control operations. Balrog notices an empty check, to which Urien responds that it's not important. Balrog accepts the payment but criticizes the matter, stating that the task was difficult. This statement infuriates Urien, and he scolds Balrog for questioning the terms of the agreement, leading to a fight between them. Balrog asks Ed to fight in his place since he is not a match for Urien. Ed is impressed by psycho power and confronts Urien but is eventually overwhelmed. Urien instructs Ed to leave and then contemplates overthrowing Shadaloo. Urien faces Shadaloo and has his partner, Helen, awaken Nash. Yuri and Rashid are also present for the fight. Urien arrives at the location where Helen and the mentioned fighters are, harshly scolding Helen for making plans without his knowledge. He describes Nash as a clay doll, and declares that he came to test his abilities for the purpose of using him against Bison. Urien fights Nash and wins. He tries to inflict more pain on his opponent before Rashid intervenes. Rashid retreats, and Helen asks Urien to calm down as he leaves, telling them he will watch them all for amusement. Later, Urien criticizes Helen for her failure when he realizes Nash's inability to kill Bison. Responsible for the transformation that occurred in Nikali, he later creates his own army of clone soldiers to overthrow his brother Gil. He also kidnaps a child under Chun-Li's care for genetic modifications. However, he agrees to let the child go. Chun-Li fights him for entertainment. After a brief scuffle, Chun-Li manages to defeat him and save the child. Ken also faces Urien during the tournament, attempting to uncover more about the secret society. After the tournament, he succeeds in overthrowing his brother and becomes the leader of the organization.